Welcome back to the 9th Gym program, and today we are continuing the Crown Tundra Guide series with Spectrier. Now, this is one of the newest Pokemon, the newest additions to the game in the Crown Tundra DLC. This Pokemon is really cool. It does some really good stuff. It has a pretty strong ability being Moxie for special attack, which is pretty cool because its special attack is very, very high. So you can use this thing as a sweeper with things like Nasty Plot, or you can use it as like a supportive Pokemon with things like Snarl and Will-O-Wisp. Because it's incredibly fast. It's at the same speed tier as Tapu Koko, which is commonly, one of the, top 5 unboosted Pokemon in the meta speed-wise. It's very fast. It has some pretty good moves, and yeah, it's a pretty good Pokemon in general. Its biggest weakness, in my opinion, is its, very low defense, not very great bulk in general, which is definitely something that takes this Pokemon down a peg. But still, definitely not a bad Pokemon. I think it's like top 30 in Pikalytics, which is pretty respectable. And yeah, it's pretty good. So let's talk about it. So Ghost typing is, fine. It's not great for damage, but it does make it so your Shadow Balls are very, very strong, which is pretty good. You will have, 2 immunities of normal and fighting, which is really good for your defensive switches. But even your resisted hits, if they are physical, you're still going to be taking a lot of damage. Things like Bug and Poison are those resisted moves. You do have 2 weaknesses coming as a Ghost Pokemon, which is a Ghost in Dark. Of course, nothing too, crazy there. But yeah, it's not that bad in general, not a bad typing. Its ability is pretty good, like I said. It's Moxie for special attacking, which is pretty cool, putting things into range with this and then killing it with a powerful Shadow Ball, then getting a boost in, your special attack. Pretty good stuff. As you'll see in the damage calcs, things like Nasty Plant make this thing absolutely insane. But like I said, its meager bulk makes it a mediocre sweeper since it'll just die pretty swiftly from that. But still not a bad option. Anyway, let's look at its stats real quick before we move on. So HP 100, not bad. Defense 60 is bad, and special defense at 80 is pretty average. So, across the board, not great on bulk, especially in the, physical defense department, which is really bad in this meta because we have a lot of physical Pokemon going around. Even the most used Pokemon currently on Pikalytics right now is Urshifu, which would just obliterate this Pokemon. Wicked Blow to the face just kills it. It's really bad. It is definitely a bad matchup. But its bulk is pretty rough. But let's look at its good stats here. 145 special attack is very strong, and speed at 130 is also very good. So leaning into those great stats, you can definitely make this Pokemon a solid a very solid supportive Pokemon. Things like Choice Scarf can be good. Choice Scarf Will-O-Wisp Snarl could be good. So a lot of options there. Anyway, that is it for the overview. Let's go ahead and look at the builds that I have prepared. So I have 2 builds today. The first one is going to be a more supportive role. Spectrier here, Shadow Ball for damage, but then you also have moves like Snarl and Will-O-Wisp. Things like Taunt and Haze are other good options. Very solid across the board. Let's look at it. So Timid Nature with max speed and max special attack. I thought that was fine for this Pokemon. You can run it with Focus Sash. You could run it with Wide Lens. You could run it with Choice Scarf. Very customizable here. Grim Neigh, not customizable. Overall, not bad. I went with Spell Tag just to do most damage with Shadow Ball. You could easily go something else, like I said. Very customizable. Overall, very solid. That is the build that I would most likely lean on using right off the bat. Definitely for the 4 attacks, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, Snarl, and Protect, I think is really good. 1 strong stab move, 2 dual supportive moves, and Protect. Overall, just very solid for Spectrier. This is a very basic build, but definitely something you'll see a lot. Most common Spectriers will be having these moves in some form of this set. Next we have the Nasty Plot version. We ran Nasty Plot on the second one with Shadow Ball, Hyper Beam, and Protect. I ran Hyper Beam just so you can hit those pesky Dark type Pokemon, which we have a lot of really good Dark type Pokemon right now. You could definitely change that out for, Mud Shot, Dark Pulse, or even just another move if you want. Making this thing, just Shadow Ball or Max Phantasm Machine with Nasty Plot is not a bad idea. You can change it out for Mud Shot, which can help your Special D, but I really wish it got like Flash Cannon or something. That would be awesome. But we don't have that. Dark Pulse is another good option, especially if you're going to max it. You can, hit very fast and hit Dark Pulse max darkness and lower the defense of things so that your, partner Pokemon can take things out as well. Very good usage there. Also, Hyper Beam becomes Max Strike, which can give you speed control. So a lot of different really good options there for Spectrier. Could be fine. Another way of running this, you could invest in bulk to make it not nearly as weak. invest in some HP and defense, and then while still, investing a good bit into speed. That is another option. Definitely a lot of options. Like I said, a very customizable Pokemon. Good stuff. Some other moves here. Mudshot, Dark Pulse, we talked about. Bulldoze could be cool for activating your weakness policies. Things like, Metagross. We could see a good bit of Spectrier next to a Metagross. Hit Dark Pulse. Not Dark Pulse. Hit Bulldoze, which is good. And then also being able to still, control the game with some fast Snarls and Will-O-Wisps. Good stuff there. I like that. Taunt and Haze, both are really good. Taunt for getting rid of Trick Room. That's the biggest option right now. But it's also really good against a lot of things in the meta. You have a Moongus, hit it so it can't Spore. Really good. Hit Regieleki so they can't set screens. Very good. Across the board, Taunt's just a good move. And then Haze, getting rid of weakness policy. We have a lot of big weakness policy Pokemon. In Beast Boost Pokemon, we have a lot of big things that, in max moves in general, we have a lot of things where Haze is a very good move, so definitely, use Haze if you want to. Wide Lens, Colbur Berry, Cassib Berry, definitely different options there. Choice Scarf, which is a very notable one that I didn't add there, which I should. Choice Scarf is definitely a good way of running this Pokemon as well, because then it'll be able to outspeed those pesky Pokemon like Dragapult, Regieleki. Most builds are Regieleki, actually just Regieleki. Yeah, it's good. Definitely good. Anyway, that is about it for that. Let's go ahead and talk about these two synergetic Pokemon. So they're a little odd. The first one I have here is Kartana, really just to signify things that have low Special D or low defense. You have fast Snarl and fast Will-O-Wisp, so Spectrier can definitely help those Pokemon, not die immediately, which is pretty good. Of course, you can do the same thing with Regieleki with screens, but Spectrier is cool and has a different usage in general. Give the Dark Horse a try. You might like it. Next, we have Regieleki. Regieleki is another Pokemon that just assists with bulk, being able to set up screens, and Electro Web is an overall supportive Pokemon. Similar to Spectrier, being able to send off some fast Snarls, Will-O-Wisps, and, powerful Shadow Balls. So, generalizing your bulk into these Pokemon is kind of weak, but, having that bulk in the attack instead of bulky switches could make, for a hyper offense team or a very aggressive player, have some better options there. If you can call your opponents leads, utilizing these Pokemon can be really, really beneficial to you, and pretty good stuff. Anyway, that is about it for the builds and stuff. Let's talk about these speed tiers real quick. So speaking of real quick, this Pokemon is real quick. Like how many times I said real quick. It's very fast. 200 speed tier is really, really, capable. It's on the same speed tier as Tapu Koko, which is pretty commonly one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, most formats. So it's very good. It's pretty good. Really, all I gotta say, it's pretty good. You outspeed a lot of good things like Cinderace, Thundurus, Kartana, Ninetales, Alola, Terrakion, Nihilego, Landorus, Therian. There's a lot of Pokemon down there. Garchomp, Excadrill. There's a whole lot of Pokemon in that 150 to 200 range that outspeeding is very good. So 200 is a very strong speed tier. Of course, you still do have Pokemon that you are outsped by, things like Dracovish at Scarf, Dragapult, Regieleki. Those are all pretty problematic, especially Dragapult being able to just OHKO Spectrier without even really trying. Dracovish could do the same. I'm sure Regieleki could with choice specs. So, a lot of things to keep aware of when using Spectrier, but still a little slept on. This Pokemon was seeing a little bit of play. Now it's seeing a good bit of play, in my opinion, for, the Pokemon, but overall, pretty good stuff. Speed tiers done. Let's talk about some damage calcs. So the first three I have here are defensive damage calcs, and they're pretty much all saying watch out for these guys. So anything really, especially physical and super effective, is really something you don't want to be around. Things like Wicked Blow from Urshifu, guaranteed OHKO, really bad. Even if you Dynamax, you could die. Not good stuff. Next, you have Incineroar, Darkest Lariat into our Spectrier, hitting 93 to 110. This is only for attack invested. Incineroar, that's usually what it is, if not, 0. Sometimes I'll have a little bit of investment, but pretty much what I'm saying is you don't want to really be in front of an Incineroar. 62.5 damage is a lot of damage. You can't Will-O-Wisp that thing. It's just something you don't really want to be up against. Next, we have Dragapult Phantom Force, 123 damage to 147, which is guaranteed OHKO. Dynamaxing will be able to live this, and so will Will-O-Wisp. So a couple of different options you have there, but keep in mind, unless you're Scarved, you're not going to be outspeeding Dragapult, so you won't be able to Will-O-Wisp it first. So Couple of things to keep in mind. Next, we have Nasty Plot boosted. I said that weird, Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot boosted with a spell tag as well. Shadow Ball into a Dynamax Metagross, hitting 125 to 146. This was a really powerful calc, a Dynamax Metagross with only 4 HP investment, mind you. Nasty Plot boosted, Shadow Ball, not even Max Phantasm. Takes it out, guaranteed OHKO, easy money, great stuff there. Next, we have the Nasty Plot boosted Spectrier Max Phantasm into a very bulky Tapu Fini, 252 HP, 76 plus special D. We are hitting 110 to 131, which is a guaranteed OHKO. Very good stuff. I know that all these are Nasty Plot, but I just wanted to show off how powerful the Nasty Plot really is. Next, we have Dynamax Lando T with 4 HP. We are taking it out with a Nasty Plot Dynamaxed boosted Max Phantasm, hitting 104 to 123%, which is guaranteed OHKO. Great stuff. It can't intimidate you because, well, I mean, it can, but it's not going to be doing anything. Very good stuff. Nasty Plot really does do a lot of damage. It is a little risky, but it is still, really, really worth it when you actually do it, and your opponent is just like, yeah, whatever, I won't attack the Spectre. It's not that big of a deal, and then you just kill it. That's good stuff. Anyway, that is it for the damage calcs. Let's talk about single spotlight real quick before I end the video. So I did choose to go Choice Scarf for this one. We do have Haze, which is really good, Shadow Ball for damage, and then we have the cute little Will-O-Wisp Hex combo. You can definitely put this on something, on a team with other stuff that does Will-O-Wisp or like, any kind of statusing so that your hexes can be really, really powerful. Boosted from Hex. Damage from Spectre can be really, really ridiculous. I went for Choice Scarf just so they're the fastest Pokemon in the meta. You don't have to worry about things like Dragapult and Regieleki outspeeding, but of course, the damage is not there as much. You could go for Life Orb, you could go Choice Specs. There's a lot of different options there for damage as well, so keep that in mind. And then for the spread, I just went Timid 252 into Speed and 252 into Special Attack, the leftover 4 into Special Defense, just so, you can bulk up on the Special Defense. If you put it into Defense, you're not going to be living a lot of physical attacks anyway, so might as well go into Special D. Anyway, that is about it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Join the Patreon, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, watch me live on Twitch. Yeah, a lot of YouTube stuff there. Anyway, follow me on different platforms. Definitely watch me on other things. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great week. The week just started. Stay strong. Stay strong, Kings. It's only Monday. We can make it. Anyway, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.